Best example yet of temperament from this meathead. Watch and learn how to win deals, get what you want, and make friends.
As much as I shouldn't be, I'm a gentleman. I'm not going to name this judge. I'm not going to name this cocksucker fucking inspector, because you know who you are. I'm a gentleman.
People are going to see me and their opinion's going to change.
Yeah, they're going to observe the sanity there, and they're going to ignore the other guy.
Regardless of how the debate went.
Now imagine he is the president. Let me show you.
First to 5, tensions run high in the Oval Office between President Trump and Ukrainian President Zelensky.
I really count on your strong position to stop Putin, and you said that enough with the war. I think that is very important, Ben, to say these words to Putin at the very beginning of war, because he is a killer and terrorist. But I hope that together we can stop him. But for us, it's very important to, to save our country, our values, our freedom and democracy, and of course, no compromises with the killer about our territory.
Do you feel like the U.S. is on your side, that the President Trump is on your side at this moment?
But
what do you think?
he wants to know, do you think that, sort of a stupid question. I guess we wouldn't be here if I wasn't.
I think that the United States on our side from the very beginning of occupation, and I think that President Trump on our side, and of course I'm sure that the United States President will not stop support.
I want to solve this thing. I'm for both. I want to get it solved, and it's wonderful to speak badly about somebody else, but I want to get it solved. Well, if I didn't align myself with both of them, you'd never have a deal. You want me to say really terrible things about Putin and then say, "Hi, Vladimir, how are we doing on the deal?" That doesn't work that way. I'm not aligned with Putin. I'm not aligned with anybody. I'm aligned with the United States of America, and for the good of the world. I'm aligned with the world. And I want to get this thing over with. You see the hatred he's got for Putin. It's very tough for me to make a deal with that kind of hate. He's got tremendous hatred. You want me to be tough? I could be tougher than any human being you've ever seen. I'd be so tough. But you're never going to get a deal that way. So
I want to respond to this. So look, for 4 years in the United States of America, we had a president who stood up at press conferences and talked tough about Vladimir Putin, and then Putin invaded Ukraine and destroyed a significant chunk of the country. The path to peace and the path to prosperity is maybe engaging in diplomacy. We tried the pathway of Joe Biden of thumping our chest and pretending.
Shut up, man! What a rotten child. Not only is he acting like a brat, but I'm noticing that he's saying bullshit while acting like a brat. I think they go together. This World War III crap, I debunked this months ago. You got a whole bunch of people out there using the scare tactic on people. Neither one of these two wars going on could overflow into a world war. And that's why it hasn't happened. A world war would take two large countries to fight directly against each other. And that's not going to happen. The U.S. has never fought Russia directly because that would be really stupid. And Russia doesn't do it. There's too much to lose. And what's another large country? China? Why would they jump in this? But the last world war we had was a good one because we got rid of a psychopath bent on world domination, which is now what we got with Putin. And if it does take a world war to stop him, that's simply what it takes. We're not going to live under someone like that. And of course, Zelensky isn't the one causing World War III. It's more Putin with the emboldenment of Trump in his first term.
I'm not speaking about just Biden, but those time was Obama, then President Obama, then President Trump, then President Biden, now President Trump, and God bless, now President Trump will stop him. But during 2014, nobody stopped him. He just occupied and took. He killed people. You know what the contact line? People have been dying on the contact line. Nobody stopped him. You know that we had conversations with him. I signed with him, Macron and Merkel, we signed ceasefire. Ceasefire. All of them told me that he will never go We signed him with gas contract. But after that, he broken this ceasefire. He killed our people and he didn't exchange prisoners. We signed the exchange of prisoners, but he didn't do it. What kind of diplomacy, JD, you are speaking about? What do you mean?
I'm talking about the kind of diplomacy that's going to end the destruction of your country.
Yes, but if you
Mr. President, with respect, I think it's disrespectful for you to come into the Oval Office and try to litigate this in front of the American media.
During the war, everybody has problems. Even you, but you have nice ocean and don't feel now, but you will feel it in the future. God bless.
You don't know that.
God bless.
You don't
God
know that.
bless. You will not have a war.
Don't tell us what we're going to feel. We're trying to solve a problem. We're trying to solve a problem. Don't tell us what we're going to feel.
I'm not telling you.
Because you're in no position to dictate that.
That's exactly what
Remember
you're doing.
this. You're in no position to dictate what we're going to feel. We're going to feel very good.
You will feel influence.
We're going to feel very good and very strong.
You will feel influence.
You're right now not in a very good position. You've allowed yourself to be in a very bad position, and he happens to be right about it.
From the very beginning of the war.
You're not in a good position. You don't have the cards right now. With us, you start having cards. But right now, you don't. You're playing cards. You're playing cards. You're gambling with the lives of millions of people. You're gambling with World War III. You're gambling with World War III. You've allowed yourself to be in a very bad position, and he happens to be right about it.
From the very beginning of the war.
You're not in a good position. You don't have the cards right now. With us, you start having cards. Right? You're gambling with World War III. And what you're doing is very disrespectful. We gave you military equipment, and you men are brave, but they had to use our military. If you didn't have our military equipment, this war would have been over in 2 weeks.
In 3 days. I heard it from Putin. In 3 days. This is something
maybe less.
In 2 weeks. Of course, yes.
It's going to be a very hard thing to do business like this, I tell you.
It's very hard to keep the country going like this, with a person like this.
Your country is in big trouble.
I know.
You're not winning. You're not winning this. You have a damn good chance of coming out okay because of us.
Because of Biden.
From the very beginning of the war, we've been alone, and we are thankful. I said thanks.
You haven't
in
been
this
alone.
cabinet.
You haven't been alone.
In this cabinet.
We gave you through this stupid president $350 billion.
There you go. He just said that we have saved Ukraine. Then he calls Biden stupid for doing it. This guy is deranged, and he's trying to make a peace deal during a war.
Let's go litigate those disagreements rather than trying to fight it out in the American media when you're wrong. We know that you're wrong.
But you see, I think it's good.
Oh my God. This is a guy who watches Fox News and listens to Putin, just like Trump. That, I think, is the problem here. They've both been brainwashed by Putin, who is a master at it.
Damn good thing. And then you tell us.
And also the problem is someone's standing up to him. I knew a person like this, my stepfather. After years of verbal abuse and actual physical threats, I started talking back to him. And this guy would just blow up like a child. And maybe that's one reason I have such an aversion to Trump. He was a white, male Republican. The way Zelensky's acting is the way we're all feeling, us normal Americans here. But you never see people talking back to him like this. And you see the frustration dealing with someone who has multiple personality disorders.
I don't want a ceasefire. I want to go, and I want this.
We can't sacrifice now. We'll be sacrificing the whole world. And of course, Trump's not going to understand what that means. Trump wants to cave, give bullies everything they want. And Trump has given him stuff behind closed doors. Remember that picture of Trump's toilet?
Ask our people about ceasefire, what they think.
That wasn't with me. That wasn't with me. That was with a guy named Biden, who was not a smart person. That was with Obama.
It was your president.
Excuse me. That was with Obama.
Vice President, I'm sorry.
It's going to be a tough deal to make.
See, here we are again, the childishness, where he can't stop saying childish things to the point of interrupting people.
Because the attitudes have to change.
Yeah.
She's asking, what if Russia breaks the ceasefire?
Well, what if anything? What if a bomb drops on your head right now?
This is a legit thing. Putin is not known for being ethical. The guy's a war criminal.
I don't know. They broke it with Biden because Biden, they didn't respect him. They didn't respect Obama. They respect me. Let me tell you, Putin went through a hell of a lot with me. He went through a phony witch hunt where they used him in Russia. Russia.
Yes,
You ever hear of that deal?
Yes. It's always Russia with this guy. He's projecting him and Russia. The ties are endless.
That was a phony Hunter Biden.
There's the protesting too much. You keep repeating yourself, denying something because you know it is true. You go overboard to deny it. That's called protesting too much. I've been calling this out for the whole 8 years that he does this.
Joe Biden scam. Hillary Clinton, Shifty Adam Schiff.
It had nothing to do with Biden. Biden wasn't around. They're Shifty Schiff. They're the vegan he hates because that vegan has the ethics to stand up to Trump. That's why he hates him so much. I made a video about that a couple back. And you're not going to have a country left if you keep voting like that. He projected that too. He said you're not going to have a country left. Yeah, more projection. Everything he says is a confession about himself. It's really weird.
And he went through it. He was accused of all that stuff. He had nothing to do with it. It came out of Hunter Biden's bathroom. It came out of Hunter Biden's bedroom. It was disgusting. And then they said,
It's another projection. The word disgusting. Really just weird if he doesn't realize he's doing this.
All I can say is this. He might have broken deals with Obama and Bush, and he might have broken them with Biden. He did, maybe. Maybe he didn't. I don't know what happened. But he didn't break them with me. He wants to make a deal. I don't know if you can make a deal. But once we sign that deal, you're in a much better position. But you're not acting at all thankful. And that's not a nice thing. I'll be honest, that's not a nice thing. All right, I think we've seen enough. What do you think?
What's this negotiation?
This is going to be great television, I will say that. All right.
Wow.
It started after Zelensky disagreed with Vice President Vance, who said that the path to peace between Russia and Ukraine is diplomacy.
We had a president who stood up at press conferences and talked tough about Vladimir Putin, and then Putin invaded Ukraine. The path to peace is maybe engaging in diplomacy.
Don't tell us what we're going to feel.
I'm not telling you.
You're in no position to dictate.
Diplomacy, that's what President Trump is doing.
You're gambling with World War III. I don't want a ceasefire. I want to go, and I want this.
America engaging in diplomacy.
You're gambling with the lives of millions of people.
You think diplomacy.
You have to be thankful. You want me to say really terrible things about Putin and then say, hi, Vladimir, how are we doing on the deal? But you're never going to get a deal that way. It's going to be a very hard thing to do business like this, I tell you. Stupid president, your country is in big trouble. I'm here as an arbitrator, as a mediator.
Meathead, dead from the neck up.